Welcome to another episode of Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to announce tonight's guest. It is Mr. Fiery Aidan Sparx himself. How are you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, mate, I can't complain. I'm looking forward to this interview. It's my first one, so it's going to be a good one.
Dude, it'll be awesome, mate. It'll just be, we said off camera, you've got you've been around for 16 years, you've got plenty of experience, stories, you've interacted with the best of them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well, because I think the hour's going to fly by, so I need to be careful to not lose track of time as well.
Yeah, it's all right.
So, as we said, 16 years. I know you from Pursuit. I know everything that's going on there at the minute. Obviously, I know prior to that it was EBW. You kind of started. It was Grimsby, wasn't it?
Yeah, I started wrestling at Grimsby, and then I went to Cresswell, trained by the shooting star Kris Travis. So that was absolutely. And then what was it? After that, I did a little bit at a company which went bust called TIW. It was a wrestling company which was based down in Ollerton, ran by Shane and Stevie Flynn. Did a little bit there. Then I went to Elite British Wrestling. Kris Travis was actually the guy that told me about EBW, and then I was there ever since. And then, of course, the global pandemic started, and then lo and behold, this company called Pursuit Pro Wrestling came up, and Postie, my tag team partner in Fiery Delivery, told me about Pursuit Pro Wrestling. Went there first day. Never look back.
Dude, that's it. I mean, Joe, you've kind of summarised a lot of stuff. I'm going to touch on EPW because I know more about them than some of the other things, kind of thing. And obviously, yeah, you mentioned Trav, absolute legend. But Andy Hogg as well, obviously played a part. It was Travis and Andy were like your main two. They're kind of credited as being the two main guys there.
Oh, yeah, I would say the fact that I was there for all that time, and they actually brought in some big names come down, and also a shout to Dirtbag Dave Stewart, who runs Phoenix Events Yorkshire. Of course, he was involved in getting the big names over. Like we had Chris Masters that came over. He wrestled Mean Machine Mark Sanders. We had the heavyweight House of Pain Stixx. We even had Drew McIntyre for Phoenix Events Let's Start a Riot. I remember it was in August 2015, but I can't remember the date.
Sometime in August.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
dude. So I mean, yeah, those names. Obviously, I pop for Stixx. I love Stixx. I think Stixx is awesome. I was going to bring him up again. I'm going to bring him up again later. There's a story I want to discuss later. But yeah, Chris Masters, Drew McIntyre. This was still quite obviously early on. Well, not probably about halfway through your journey, because you say you've been doing it for about 16 years. So that would have been about 9 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2000. Yeah, it was 2015 that show, and it was the second Phoenix Events Yorkshire day. And also, I do remember this. It was the hot-blooded males, Ryan Lee and Don Black with Nick Mason versus Martin Kirby, and we had a mystery partner. And of course, I was backstage. I was in the Battle Royal, but no one knew what was happening. Then all of a sudden, CKY came on. Kris Travis. You should have heard the reaction. It was mental. Like everyone just welcomed them back in arms. It was insane.
And that's it. For anybody who doesn't know, that would have been sort of like one of his first like comeback matches, wouldn't it, after the illness?
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, his big comeback match was him versus Shaw Samuels at PCW.
Yes. Yes.
But I wasn't there for that one. I wasn't there for that one, but I heard about it, you know.
I think he had one up in the, I don't know if it was Discovery, but I'm sure, yeah, he had one a bit further up north as well, didn't he? Because I'm sure Lionheart played a part in his return, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong about that, but I do remember something. I just remember, like, you know, I'm sure I remember a Scottish crowd just going nuts as he was, you know, stood in the ring in his skinny jeans and just about to super kick somebody.
Yeah. There was quite a few times that Trav came in and super kicked in his famous skinny jeans. So.
No, those skinny jeans, man. I worked on a t-shirt design for him once. That was just the actual thing was it's like a Bullet Club thing. It was just skinny jeans party. That was the name. That was the design of the t-shirt kind of thing. It was mental. I was like, oh, dude, if anyone can pull them off, you know, yeah, Trav could do it, kind of thing. So, but yeah, you mentioned Chris Masters, Drew McIntyre. That must have been awesome, you know, for you, kind of thing. Did you kind of take the opportunity to pick the brain? Did you get to speak to him?
It was absolutely insane. Like the fact that watching Chris Masters and of course Drew McIntyre in WWE, and then to find out that you're doing shows with him and did 2 seminars with Chris. Actually, the last seminar I did with Chris Masters was at Pursuit Pro Wrestling, and that was amazing. And what was even more crazier is that he actually remembered me.
I was going to ask
insane.
I was going to say, because I know, yeah, Chris was there a couple of months ago at Pursuit. You know, I can imagine you just going up to him and being like, Chris, buddy, give me a hug. And then being like, yeah, I remember you.
I'm a very, very shy person. So because of my, I know you're going to mention this later on, but for me having autism, I find it difficult to sometimes talk to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like a little bit gingery, like stuff like that.
You wouldn't be anyway, to be fair. Totally understandable, dude. I mean, it's Chris Masters, for God's sake.
Even before that, when I was a trainer at EBW, we had guys. We had Paul London. We had Shane Douglas. We had Too Cool, you know, Scotty Twatty and Grandmaster Sexay. And I've got to admit, them 2 guys were probably the funniest guys I think I've ever met. Particularly Brian Christopher. Like everything that he was saying, like it was just hysterical. Like, but
dude, that's it. I think he's definitely funnier than his dad was or is. So that blows my mind, though, man. You like say EBW, you know, just the names are real enough there. Shane Douglas, I mean, some consider him, you know, a franchise player, you know, pun intended. You know, the guy technically gifted. Being able to pick his brain would be awesome. You know, Too Cool, Scotty Garland, Brian Christopher. Yeah, man, you've been in the ring with a few very, very cool people.
Well, to tell you the truth, Shane Douglas was doing a little Q&A with some of the guys who weren't doing the seminar with Paul London, and I was doing the seminar with London. So it was the case of, you know, Shane came in, hello, you're right, yeah, good, really good to see you, you know, that type of deal. You know, wrestlers
etiquette.
What's it called? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
But Paul London, though, man, I love London. I've always been a massive mark for Paul London. But just even getting to talk to him would be amazing. He just seems like one of the most down to earth, very zen, very cool, just an awesome human being.
He really was. But I was watching his his absolute crazy elimination that he took from Royal Rumble 2005. You know, the one where Gene Sinitsky, he throws a line, Paul London ducks, and then Sinitsky, bam, and Paul London shooting stars off the apron onto the floor, like, boom, at nothing.
Dude, that's it though. I mean, it's just, the guy is just very underrated, very underappreciated. I remember, like, you know, I think there was an ongoing joke at like PCW. I think it took him like 50 minutes to get to the ring one time or something for a match. You know, he just went off walking into the crowd. And, yeah, it just was like, whether I think they named the next show "Where's Paul?" It's because literally, like, yeah, he just done what he just went off into the audience and just started talking to people. So,
no way.
But back to you. You mentioned Postie earlier. You know, obviously with with him pursuit and stuff. You mentioned, you know, the tag team Fiery Delivery. It wasn't always a tag team though. You guys had a series of matches before you kind of formed the union.
Well,
was that like
when Postie started, it was EBW, so I think it was around, I don't know, around maybe 2018, and he had a couple of singles matches without me, and then I believe it was June 2019 we had our first tag match together. It was EBW at the Sheffield Woodhouse. The very first EBW show at Sheffield Woodhouse, and we opened that show, and then we've been tagging ever since. But we weren't called Fiery Delivery then. We were just known as Postie Malone and Fiery Aidan Sparx. So when we went to PPW together, I was thinking to myself, we need a name. We need a tag team name. Like, it took me some time, but then all of a sudden, it just came into my head. Well, my mum, actually said, "Why don't you call yourself Fiery Delivery?" And I thought, that's amazing. It's so weird. So the next day I told Post, I told him and I said to him, how about tag team Fiery Delivery? He was up for it, and I was certainly up for it. So yeah. And then of course we had our little rivalry, where my gimmick is someone who stands up to bullies. It's like I'd like to say I represent this one person who's been bullied all of his life and is not afraid to stand up. And they look at me and they go, this person's standing up to this bully. So it's like I can look at him as inspiration, as a role model, yeah. So we had the matches, and it ended up with Postie beating me, but then we continued the rivalry. I can't remember what PPW it were, but I won the first ever PPW Rumble, and Postie beat Axel the Clown as to become new PPW champion. So the next PPW show, it was me versus Postie Malone in the main event, and then something happened. A certain tag team called the Cyber Fight League, Jay Vertigo and Carl Lawson, they distracted me. Lawson Bowie decked Postie with a chair, but I couldn't see it because I was distracted. I hit my DDT, and then I seized the footage back, and we had a no disqualification tornado style tag match in where me and Postie became the first ever PPW tag team champions.
Dude, That's awesome. I mean, that must have been cool as well, though. Like you sort of said, you've come from EBW to Pursuit. Obviously, Postie, Glenn. So you're not coming to PPW straight away as a tag team. You're getting to work with each other and absolutely tear it up. But then at the end of it, Fiery Delivery is back on track. Next day delivery, you're getting the matches, you're getting the belt. So
yeah, for someone who's got a cracking dad bod, he can fly around that ring. Like, I've seen them do some crazy stuff. Like, it's mental. Yeah,
he's good, man.
And
obviously, I spoke to Postie a few weeks ago, and yeah, the dude's awesome. I think both of you together are awesome. It just works really well. But yeah, man. But going up against Vertigo and Lawson, that's to me. I haven't actually seen that match. I now want to go watch that match, so I will go find out on YouTube after this.
It was, of course, the adrenaline was there, but I think that quite a bit. I'm a perfectionist, so it's like quite a bit of the match. I was like, quite a bit. It was my fault. Like back and forth. Like there was a load of bodies in that match. So, but let's say me and Postie became the first and only PPW Tag Team Champions. I don't think that anyone else PPW has had that thing yet. So that's awesome.
So you're still champs then? Nobody's beat you for the belts?
Well, the PPW belt is like, oh, how can you put it? Transitional, like every time.
Right. Yeah.
Like, yeah, so we were the first ever PPW Tag Team Champions, and then something happened. I forgot who went over after that. Oh, yeah, it was your man. It was Big Kemper. He beat us. He beat us both in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Oh, dude. I love Kemper, but he's slightly tainted now because that's uncalled for, man. That's to me, you haven't been beaten by tag teams, so you're still the tag team champions in my eyes.
Yeah. I would have thought so. So yeah.
Dude, obviously, yeah, Postie Malone. Carl Lawson's another guy who just deserves all the props. I love Carl. I think he's great. He's just a good big man. And dude, yeah, I can only imagine. I just hope the adrenaline is pumping when he was hitting you, because he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. First time I ever worked Carl Lawson, we were doing the Rice tryouts at the old PPW unit. It was after we did a seminar with Stixx and Huxley.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we were put in pairs for matches like Rice tryouts, and I was paired with Carl Lawson, and that was when I actually debuted my ring gear that you see me in now. So yeah.
What's the story behind that gear? Does it come from, there was like some inspiration from it? Did you pull it from a few different sources? Because it is unique, man. It pops. So, it's an awesome looking get up, but it must have come from somewhere.
Well, first off, I had old gear, and it was black with fire on one side and Sparx on the other, like my ring name SPARX, and I had Sparx Will Fly on me derriere. So my inspiration, like my all-time favorite wrestler, like I'm not kidding when I say this, like it's Kane, like he was amazing. Like and then it were at PPW. was doing a few matches, then I heard one of the wrestlers keep shouting "Fire!" Thinking, first off, I'm like, "What the hell's he? What's going on?" Like, and then I gave in, and I thought to myself, "I'm going to get new ring gear. I'm going to be as bright as I can." So that's why I went for the yellow and the orange and red, red flames, and I've got the fire gimmick on my back. But the ring jacket, I actually got that given to me. It was back at EBW. I debuted that. I can't remember what. I think it was 2016 or maybe 17. Yeah, I think it was like 2017. I can't remember. Maybe one of those 2 years. And I went upstairs to go to training, and all of a sudden, I don't know if you remember him, but Krieg, Big Matt Ledger, he comes up to me and he says, "Aidan, here you go, try this jacket on." And thinking, that's like a Randy Savage gimmick. But then I made it my own. Like, now I've got a choreographed entrance. And of course I've got the gear. And I thought, no pun intended, that's fire, and it's been over, and it's been over ever since.
I put on Facebook earlier that I was talking to you tonight, and literally somebody commented like "fire," and I was like,
"That's all that." Yeah. I actually did Valor's Party, Rise Valor's Party. It was Miles and Miles' dad's open challenge. And here's the crazy thing. I wasn't supposed to be on the show. I went down with Radu, just to help set up. And then all of a sudden I see Big Shreddy. And he comes up to me. I come up to Shreddy and he goes, wrestling conduct. "Hey mate, how you going?" He says, "Yeah mate, not too bad. We're tagging." What? Like, who told me? I had no clue. Like, he says, "Are you Aidan Sparx?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he says, "We're tagging against Miles and Miles' dad." And we're in Commander Nash. And the setup for that was incredible. Like it was in a warehouse, Sheffield warehouse. I think it was called the Peddler warehouse. We were second match on. I comes out. I don't think anyone's heard of me before. But then all of a sudden they were chanting "fire, fire, fire," and anything like thinking, what's going on? I was the only face. Shreddy was the only heel in that match. So,
dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sheffield as well, though. Obviously the EBW home turf. Dude, there would have been people there that obviously knew what you was, what you'd done. I'm just
sorry, continue.
I was going to say, I just love the thought of you and Miles' dad, aka Nash, just in the ring together, just working.
We had a comedy spot. We had a couple of comedy spots, and I was trying my best not to break. Like, in the ring or out the ring, he's just an absolute character. Like, I love the guy. I think he's brilliant.
It's awesome. That's the thing. Obviously, not a lot of people know him in Rise, kind of thing, or there's people. Cause Rise is awesome, but it's very. If you're a fan of Rise, you're a fan of Rise. But if you've not really seen it or experienced it, it's kind of really hard to explain it to people.
I've said this to the guys in Rise that I'm not a deathmatch wrestler. I'm a family-friendly wrestler, but I can do like pots and pans. Pots and pans wrestling, pots and pans like chairs, baking trays, and stuff like that. Actually, my very first Rise appearance was me versus Postie. I think Postie might have mentioned this when you had the interview with us. It was to raise charity. It was to raise money for the Ukraine Centre.
Yeah.
And Nathan came out and did his weasel gimmick. BA came out. We both struck Nathan in his face, and BA just battered him, and just gave him a bit of a batter. And we had a photo with BA. And I've actually known BA for quite a bit now, because he was an EV. Because he actually did a couple of stuff for EVW as well. So I've had a couple of tag matches with BA, and he's one of the most easiest guys I've ever worked with. He's brilliant. I'm still waiting for that singles match though with him.
PPW 26. Bosh. Fiery Aidan Sparx versus BA Rose.
I do want that match. I do want it. I really do. Just a legit singles match. I'm not going death match because, like I say, I'm not a death match wrestler.
But maybe that could be, the underdog. You against BA. You rising up to the challenge. That's a story to be told. That could be like, and then the satisfaction when you're pinning one. Dude, that's what wrestling is made for. Moments, stories like that. That'd be awesome.
Stories, yeah. In fact, I mentioned about names. I've done a couple of tag matches with BA, but back at EBW, I actually went one-on-one with Robbie X. And I've known Robbie X from when he was 14. But I started at 13-year-old, and he was there. It's and his brother as well, who, in my opinion, was one of the best referees that were out there, Milky.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after that match, I was really, really happy with it. I really wanted that match for such a long time because we knew each other all the way back from when Trav traded me.
Dude,
that was amazing.
Yeah, because there's a few people where you kind of forget just how long they've been around because they started off so young. It's like, dude, you're still babyface. To say that you've been around for 16 years is absolutely mind blowing. And it goes for the same with Robbie X and stuff. Because it's just but yeah, because it's kind of not taken for granted, and you're just like, oh shit, yeah, 16 years. Probably the same for Robbie. He's probably been kicking around. Just as did he start before you? Did you say?
Robbie started a lot. Than me, you get what I mean? Right. Robbie was still there, and I started.
So that's just that's craziness. It's just but then obviously, we've mentioned Trav a few times. Mentioned Herbie and stuff as well. But yeah, Trav, man, that must have just been obviously very much associated with EBW. I'm sure the guy just had wisdom to tell you, as well as a few ribs. I don't know if you was on the side, if you ever. I
have heard some stories about. Trav's ribs, and I can't remember any, but I remember watching you and D Mitchell talking about his ribs. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's definitely Kris Travis.
Dude, but I'm not going to focus too much off because it's about you. I just want to obviously acknowledge the awesomeness that was, Kris Travis. And the fact that he's played any part in your journey speaks volumes for you as well. You know, you're awesome. You know, so yeah, it's another notch in Travis's belt. You know, the fact that he helped you along the way. But I want to go back to Rise. Oh, go on,
sorry. I mean, crazy thing about that word, like, when I first stepped into the training school, Travis training school, I was just sat on my own, didn't talk to anybody, and I think it was one of the guys that came up to Trav, and he said something like, "What are we going to do about this young kid? You know, he's on his own, he's not talking." And Trav said, "Don't worry, I'm going to make him a wrestler." And by God, didn't he? You know, so like, I remember my debut was September 24th in 2010, and it was only a Royal Rumble, and that was my first time in front of the crowd. I think there was like 230, 40 people there, and that was my first. And that was my first time, and that was my debut.
Wow, that's a big crowd for a debut.
Yeah, we had guys on there such as we had Stixx, we had Valcabius. Man, we had. Do you remember Prince Amin?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had Sam Bailey on there as well. So, and we also had G-Man. Don't even remember G-Man.
Vaguely, yeah. Not as much as Hamid and obviously Sam Bailey and stuff, but the name does ring a bell.
Yeah, and of course we had Robbie X and guys like that. So we had Reigns. Reigns was on. So, and that was when I was starting. That was when I came back from school, because I went to a learning support school, and it was in Mansfield, and on Fridays we finished at 2:00. So we got back, goes to my granddad's house, and then we went straight to the Cresswell Social Centre, where we were doing the show, and the atmosphere was just insane. It was great. But I was nervous because it was my first match. Like, I had these I had these ridiculous pleather pants, these pleather like trousers with the green flames, and it even had a vest. Like, I'm like, I look at that, I'm thinking to myself now, I'm thinking, how far have I come? You know what I mean? Like,
just like, yeah. Level up.
Yeah, and also me having autism, I'd like to say this, like, I'd like to be a role model to anybody, you know, who wants to start, you know, professional wrestling, you know, so they can look at me and go, this is, you know,
it's achievable.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Dude, you mentioned, well, I'm going to quickly touch on that and sort of say, obviously, you said, you know, you finished school, you go and do that on the Friday. Please tell me you went back to school on the Monday and just be like, guess what I did at the weekend? And just like,
I think that I think that everyone knew. I told them, like, they were like, I started liking professional wrestling when I was 6 years old. Like, when I was 6. And this is an amazing story. This is like, I remember I was in my bedroom at my mum and dad's house. I just finished school. And my late great Nan, my late great Nana, she gave me 2 games for PlayStation 2. And one of them was a football game, and one of them was a WWF SmackDown. Just bring it. And I just played it, and I thought, gee, this is incredible. And then I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. Like The Rock, Kane, Kurt Angle, Taker when he was the American Badass type deal. Like, I thought that was great. Kris Travis, Lita, the Hardys. Just guys like that. And then I think I was 9 years old when I went to my very first legit wrestling show. And that was an old company. It was called EWA, Elite Wrestling Academy. And it was, because I've got autism, like I had to overcome things like I didn't like loud noises or loud music or stuff like that. So every time that loud music came on, I was like, fingers in the ears, But then that was it. Like, but guys on there, you had guys on there such as Johnny Midnight. You had actually Pigman, Andy Hawk was on that show. He tagged with the El Bob Schwa to face 2 guys called Axel Rock and Dave Insane. He also had Mark Impact, aka Mark Sanders, against a guy called Mike Goodness. And I've still got the DVD somewhere. And I was just sat there with my mum, my dad, and my granddad in a red jumper, thinking, "What's this?" So it's, like first show. And then one of the guys said, "You want to become a wrestler? You have to be 18 years old." And I was like, wishing my time away. Like, I can't wait to be 18 until I can start. And then I found Grimsby. I don't really want to talk about the Grimsby one as much because they don't want to put words in to my own mouth, but the coach was a bully. I didn't like him. I couldn't so that's why I've always said that Kris Travis was my very first coach. And we were like brothers. Like, we really got on really well. Well,
yeah, acknowledge the good, disregard the bad kind of things. So, but dude, that is, and then obviously, you mentioned, just bring it. And obviously, by the time you were 9, Here Comes the Pain would have been out, so you'd have been blasting through that on the PlayStation. That was
the second game that I got for wrestling. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain.
Still one of the best games ever.
I still play it.
Yeah, nice, dude. But you mentioned there about the school. I was going to bring this up because I shared the story earlier about it. Dude, like to say, I've been psyched to have this conversation with you. We've talked on and off for a long time. We've kind of known each other. But that story just kind of sums up you for me in the sense of, you went above and beyond. You raised some money for a great cause. I know it's not the only time you've done it. You do it a lot. But yeah, that story I shared, raising money, for the school, for charities. Obviously, first of all, awesome, dude. Absolutely, genuinely heartfelt, amazing. How did that, come about? And obviously, it's a big ass article, man. They go to big detail. It's pretty much like your origin story in that article.
Right. When the PPW, no, actually, when the global pandemic came around, my granddad was in hospital and he and of course, unfortunately, he died. But in a way, it wasn't COVID, which was great, which was good. But of course, that was absolute heartache because my granddad was with me every single time. Like it take me, it take me to shows. Every wrestler that has known me, granddad would say that he was like family. So when he died, we couldn't have a wake for him. So I had this idea in my idea in my mind, thinking, what if instead of a wake, what if we just put on a show on in memory of my granddad, and I was raising money to put that show on, and we also had my mum helped me a lot, but also Postie helped me a lot as well. And it was actually June the 13th of 2021. I know I've got this encyclopedia of wrestling. It was when PPW actually opened. Like we had it opened in April, but we did the in-house show in May. The very first in-house show when I beat Nathan Black. Yes. And then it was June. And then my mum gets a phone call from Postie, and he goes, "We can do the show at the PPW unit." And I was overwhelmed. Like the first day, it was Saturday the 12th, the day before. We were getting stuff ready. We had to dismantle the ring. And then put it back up. And then we had to, make sure that everything's all sound and all that. And then we even had fridges for beer and normal drinks and all that. And we even had food. And my mum also helped me do some food. What's the word? Food bags. Yeah, that's it. For people who actually knew me granddads, like friends and family, so that they can come. And the idea was that my friends and family can go in for free. But everyone that didn't know my granddad but actually knew my granddad, but not as a friend, they had to pay a $5 to get more money and to be able to put more money on, and it was incredible. Like all the matches, what I've heard from Postie Malone versus Jake Hackenbeard. Adam Bolt versus Nathan Black. You had Ruby Radley and James Bacon versus Ivy and Brady Phillips. You had Violence Party, Jack Turner and BA versus Hangman Harry Pierpoint and Jason Jacobs. You had Hayden Scallon versus Dirtbag Dave Stewart, and then you had the main event, which was me versus the big man, the heavy pain Stixx. all the way through. Then after the show, I grabbed the mic, did a speech. I did that before the show as well. We did a 10 bell salute for him as well. But the whole show altogether was incredible. And my mate, who I'm going to put a shout out right now, Joel. I've known him since school, and I was the one that actually got him into UK wrestling. he tells me like, hey, it's Leon Slater versus Josh Alexander at Rev Pro in York. I'm like, stuff like that. Like, he's really into it, but I really want him to come down and watch me wrestle. He's only seen me wrestle once, and that was against Stixx.
Oh.
So,
there you go, Joel. If you're watching, come on, dude, get on a train, get to Rise, get to Pursuit, get to anywhere where Fiery's on. Show some love. Go see him. But dude, that sounds amazing. And Stixx in the main event. I mean, when I was reading the article, obviously there's a photo of you stood next to Stixx with like the PPW logo in the background. And I was just like, that was just
that was a really good shot. That was a really good shot. Whoever took that photo.
I love the article as well though, because they're kind of like doing commentary on the match, and they're like sort of saying, straight away Stixx picks up Aidan and he throws him into the corner. Okay.
Yeah, it was actually one of the school teachers that wrote the article, and he actually came to me flat, and we just chatted about life, and that's what we did in the article, really.
Dude, I can't big it up enough. That article is genuinely just amazing. Just purely, not just for that event as well, but just for yourself as well. Like you sort of said, mate, you want to do this. You want to sort of, you're doing what you're doing. You're absolutely smashing it. If a kid out there with autism watches this or watches a PPW show with you on it, finds out the similarities, and that inspires him to do something. Great. That's what that article would do as well, because that article just describes it. It explains your journey so well, and everything that you've done, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, no pun intended, but that was fire. That was great. Yeah,
dude. It was. It's not just fire, mate. It's an inferno. That was just breaking everything down. Obviously. You mentioned Rise. Rise wasn't one and done. You've done numerous Rise shows. So obviously, tagging with Shreddy, you must have made a mark. You was there again recently at the Rumble.
It was first one was the what was it? I just told you. It was me and Postie. It was me and Postie with Nathan Black interfered and BA. And then BA nutted him, but we both nutted Nathan first, and then BA just went, bro, and then the Rise Rumble, I actually started the Rise Rumble this year with Leonardo Darwin, which was great. Like, I love Leonardo, like, he was so good, like, I really want to work Darwin, so.
Dude, Rumble's getting easier. Sorry, John, I'll come back to that in a second, but do Rumbles get any easier?
Well, I was number 2 in the Rumble, and we did a spot where I did my entrance, and everyone was just chanting fire, fire, and then we did a dance, and Darwin lined me, gave me a spear, and then hit and pedigreed me, and then just over top rope. Yeah, see you later. And then, of course, Balance Party, Type of Shredding. I had so much fun that day. It was so good.
As I said, it's just, Rise is just a whole different kettle of fish. But obviously, Rumbles are a bread and butter of British wrestling. You said, you made your debut in like 2010 in a Rumble. I've seen you in like a few PPW ones. I know some people love them, some people hate them, dude. Do you enjoy doing Rumbles, or is it just too many moving parts? Is it just a case of like, this is, I think it would blag my head.
Man, I don't know. Rumbles can be messy, but if you're in the final 4, or if you're in the final four, or if you start a rumble, it's like, well, you can get your stuff in then. It's not going to be like forearms. It's not going to be any strikes and all that. You can get a spot in. Rumbles is like if you get more than 4 people in, and then it starts to get hectic, like strikes and all that. But the pursuit rumble, the first pursuit rumble, that was hella fun. Although I only lasted in there for. Have you seen Kane versus Chavo, WrestleMania 24?
Yeah.
It was that. I hit me spark out DDT on Alan Kane. Luca Briganti came in and just threw me over the top. But that was a 10-man battle royal. It was a 10-man rumble, and I got asked to do it by Liam Slater, and he said, "Are you free for?" I forgot what date it were. It was September 23rd, I think it was. He says, "Are you free to do Rumble?" I says, "Yeah." But me thinking of it being a Rumble, it was going to be loads of bodies. But then I looked at the car, and then I looked at the match graphic, and I see there's only 10 people. I'm thinking, yeah, that's brilliant. That's great. That is, and to actually be asked to be asked by Liam Slater to actually be on the first Pursuit show anyway in the first place was incredible. Even though it was a little spot, and I did my entrance, like they were really, everyone was really up for it. So it was great.
Just being there, being part of the moment, being part of the atmosphere. Like I said, the crowd are going to pop. It's just, I mean, it's probably surprising to a lot of people watching this, but we haven't really talked too much about Pursuit. But yeah, man, like I say, you've been there from day one. You've seen what they've accomplished. You've seen talent coming through them doors, getting better. Obviously, you and Postie, OGs in Pursuit, I'd say from day one kind of thing. I'm guessing, obviously, you've got nothing but love. The facility looks awesome. Everybody involved sounds amazing, and everybody just sort of says it's just a great atmosphere. They look forward to going to the facility. They look forward to seeing everyone. You're all just a big crazy family kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like when you go to PPW, it's the fact that everyone's all welcoming. Like everyone's really welcoming. Like if you're new to wrestling, if you're really advanced into wrestling, like it's so. Oh, it's my autism again. Sorry. It's really
comfortable.
It's really comfortable. Yeah, like Nathan and Liam, like they make it look so good. Like we just moved to a new facility. Yeah. We just moved to a new unit, and it's unbelievable. Like it's huge. Like we just did our first PPW in-house show in that
25,
unit. Yeah, PPW 25. Of course, that's not out on YouTube yet, so I'm not gonna do any spoilers. Nah, forget that. No. Yeah. All I can tell you that it was great. It was a good show.
I've seen a few clips thanks to Mr. Jeebus. So yeah, it looked awesome. The matches on the card looked amazing. And yeah, get to showcase the facility. But yeah, man, but I think as well, obviously it helps you. You've got this fiery character. That you constantly, because your character's never going to stop evolving. You're always going to be working on something.
Like not only the the people who watch me pop for it, but everyone at PPW pops for it. Like every time I see Nathan Black, he's like fire, guys, everyone. Like I cannot believe how over my character is. Like it's unbelievable. Like, I'm gonna say this guy's name because he's so good. Like he's got so much charisma. Music Man. What a gimmick! Like absolutely amazing. Like he's so out there. Like he's got probably one of the best characters in PPW, and of course he's branching out as well. Music Man, like he's doing really well.
That's it. Well, obviously, again, I had him on previously. He treated me to a little sing song. He gave me a 2-minute song on the episode. Yeah, dude. If you could bottle that charisma, mate, you'd make a fortune. It's unreal.
Yeah, I remember watching a promo of Music Man's, and he's what was it? Let me hear you say when, and then he's on the other end of the phone, and he's in snow, like no, I want you to come down for some wrestling. Are you still there? Is he playing the guitar? Like he's got so much charisma about him, like it's insane.
Dude, like I said, mate, if you could bottle it, you'd make a fortune. It's mental. But that's the thing, though. You've got people like that around you. You've got, you know what you're doing as well. I mean, obviously, 16 years, but you're still evolving the character. You're looking to change this. You're looking to change that. I think you've got the perfect people around you that you can bounce ideas off of. And actually, the clown. Like you say, Music Man. It's just a house full of amazing characters. And I presume, you all elevate each other.
I've realised this about Liam Slater, but the fact that we've probably got more characters at PPW, probably more than, I would say, more than anyone else from any other wrestling company. I mean, I'm not blowing PPW. I'm not blowing the trumpet up, but I think that we've got more characters. I think we've got more characters at PPW. I really think we have. Like what you say, we've got Axel the Clown, we've got Music Man, we've got Ellis Barker, we've got Radu. You've got Luca Brigante, Stephanie Sterling, Commander Stephanie Sterling.
Postie
Malone, yeah.
Freaky Felicia.
Yeah, Freaky. Yeah, forget Freaky. Just
Jim Maguire.
Oh yeah, the freak show. Jim. I gotta admit, Jim is what an inspiration. Jim Maguire is. Starts. I think he said he started in his 50s. In his 50s. I do remember having one match with Jim Maguire, and it was a singles match, and that was at EBW. So this was when, and I basically controlled the match, and I said, we're just going to keep it simple. And the guys in the back were saying that's probably the best match. Not only best match in the afternoon, but also best match at night, because we just made it simple. Well, I made it simple for Jim.
That's what you got to do sometimes. You can have an amazing match, with 4 or 5 holds, as long as you're telling the right story.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jim is another one. Like his character and the way that he plays it. You know what I mean? Like the tash and the hat, like The Morris dance. Have you seen the Morris dance? Oh, like that's amazing. Like we all pop for that, and of course it ends with a drop kick. So good, absolutely brilliant.
Well, you mentioned I did like I'm going to start wrapping up because I've just noticed we've clocked now, and I don't want to keep you for too long. But recently you mentioned Dino earlier as well. We've just mentioned Radu. Obviously, yeah, me, Dino, and Radu watched the 2013 EBW Rumble, and mate, I was looking out for you. I was like, please, like let Aidan turn up in this. Like, your first Rumble was the year after, wasn't it?
I wasn't in that Rumble.
No, you turned up a year later, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I think my first EBW Rumble was the Tramline Rumble, the first Tramline Rumble show, and I was like, how many people are in there? You know, like I remember once I remember once. I think it was the last Tramline Rumble. I think we had like maybe like 60 or maybe 65 people in there, like with so many gimmicks. I wanted to do another gimmick, so I decided to come out as a different gimmick, to help out. You know what I mean? So that was awesome.
Dude, please tell me, because obviously in the 2013 one, we had the amazing Man Spider who just walked around going like this all the time. Did you have the box of masks in the back? The infamous box of masks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I even put a mask on as well. So yeah, new gear, mask. Yeah, basically. And also, you mentioned about other shows and all that. But I'm actually me and Postie are wrestling for CWE next Saturday, April 13th.
Is that Blackpool?
Yeah, that's the one in Blackpool, Fleetwood. Yeah.
Postie mentioned it. I was going to bring it up before we went.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's talk Blackpool, man, because Blackpool is a city with a legacy for rich with wrestling, infamousy. You wrestle in Blackpool, dude, that means something.
Honest, that just came out the blue. I get the video message from the promoter. And I think he said something on the lines of, "Hey Aidan, everything's well. Spoke to Glenn Bolton and Postie Malone, and he said that you and him operate well as a tag team. And if you're free on September 1st, which was last year, I'm going to get you and him versus the modern day Mafia for belts." We got screwed out of the belts. We got screwed out of the belts that show, but for some weird reason, the modern day Mafia has decided to bring two other people with them. So we've brought two of ours, and we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned 4-on-4 Survivor Series style elimination match.
Dude. Mate, that's going to be awesome. Is it a secret who the other two people are? Is that yet to be announced?
Well, the match graphics. The match graphics up, so I can tell you it's Fiery Delivery, Kai and Palmer versus the Denzen, and the Modern Day Mafia.
Dude,
Yeah. So,
you're looking forward to it?
yeah, it should be good. Like, honestly, I'd never thought that I'd wrestle in Blackpool, like, and that was like a dream. That was like a dream. Wrestling in Blackpool, brilliant, absolutely incredible.
Like I say, like, it's just a city rich with history in it, you know, especially for wrestling.
Yeah, well, especially with when they had the WWE UK tournament there at the Winter Gardens. So I remember I was on holiday last year, and me and my mum and my dad, we goes into Winter Gardens, and I was like, I'm going to have a look to see where they held the UK NXT UK Championship tournament. And unfortunately, they had a panto on there, and they had a panto in there, so it was like, damn, I really wanted to go in. But
Like, it's not quite the same atmosphere, is it? You know, being able to sit there and imagine like a wrestling ring and, you know, action going on and shouting, or you just sat there shouting like, "It's behind you." It's like, yeah, no, it don't quite. It don't click the same.
It's not the same. Well, we went in and we had a drink, and then we went back to hotel where we were staying through for holiday. So.
Right, that's amazing. Like say, right, I'm gonna wrap it up on that note, but yeah, do think, you know, that show in Blackpool is going to be amazing. I'll keep my eye posted. I'll spread the word as much as I can. I'll keep my eye out on socials, you know, for it. You're on Instagram now, aren't you? Or is that posted?
No.
It's posted. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, and that was a bit of a. Facebook's helped me get all these bookings as well. Like, nice. I've not only got CWE, I've got British Wrestling Federation on June the 1st.
Wow.
At Wakefield.
Nice. BWF.
I don't know who I'm working yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Man, who else have I got? I've got the two other CWE shows. I've got one on July 13th, and I've got one in October. I can't remember when. I've got one more round in August.
So I think
that was like August 6th or August 9th. I make sure that I do one more round every time.
Well, I'm going to be talking to Mikey before that. I think, and hopefully, fingers crossed. So obviously, yeah, we'll pick up one more round just beforehand as well. Anyway, so
yeah, all other one more round matches I've been in. I've been in a match with Matt Ledger, and then I had a Money in the Bank type match, and then I had a Battle Royal. Then I had Kyle Kingsley. Then other times it's been Battle Royal. So I'm hoping that this one more round I get a match.
Yes. Fingers crossed. Dude, tell them. Sparx versus B.A. Rose. One more round.
I'd like to work B.A. I said that, but I'd like to work other people as well. Like, my legit dream opponent that I want to work is Chris Masters. I really want to work Chris. I really do, honest. Like, it's the fact that Kris Travis has worked Chris Masters 3 times in those stellar matches that they had. And then of course he comes down, does a seminar, and then after the second seminar we talked stories for Trav. And I gave Chris Masters one of my one more round wristbands, like the softest spandex wristbands. He said, and he really appreciated it. So yeah.
Nice. To be fair with you, dude, now you finally accepted the technology and we can talk. this isn't going to be one and done. You know, we are going to talk again, mate. I promise you that. Because we haven't even sort of touched the surface. You know, you've just mentioned obviously one more round. We've barely talked about that. Soccer and spandex. There's so much more stuff we go on about. That I'll do it here and now. I will send you. You know, I will ask you to come back on for a part 2 to this conversation. You know, within the next few months.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, looking forward to that.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I just think, like I say, mate, we've barely broken the ice, you know, and it's been over an hour, and it's kind of like there's still so much more to talk about. So if you're cool with it, I know. I just walked out that. Damn. No, but yeah, we'll wrap up on this one. But mate, I've just had an absolute blast talking to you. The stories. Like I said, not even 10% of stuff to be talked about has been talked about. I want you back on, and I want to continue this and talk some more about everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah.
Nice. Right, we'll wrap up this one. We'll say our goodbyes, and then you know, we'll sort you back on for June or July, and we'll get it sorted.
Okay.
Cool. Right. Obviously, they said Facebook. If you want to search Aidan Sparx, see what the man's up to, see what he's been doing, see what he's gonna be doing. People can obviously, find you on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. It's just Aidan Sparx. So yeah, but of course, when I put my posts on, I always put Fiery Aidan Sparx. So you know,
It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done.
Always.
Obviously, I'll tag you when I upload this onto Facebook, and I'll tag it. You know, if you're not following the page or you don't like the page, just click on the video link on Facebook. Give the dude a like, give him a follow. Obviously, yeah, man. If it's getting fiery near you, buy a ticket, go watch the show. Obviously, you can follow us on Twitter. But as always, hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell. Do all the generic stuff, and just thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and we will see you again very soon. So yeah, this is it. We will say goodbye, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, fire!
Fire!
Yeah.